Okay. When we are talking about Swachhta campus, MGNCRE prepared a manual regarding Swachhta ranking for the higher education institutions. When we are talking about this manual, it is the master plan for the Swachhta campus initiative. The strategy proposed for the bringing environmental sustainability for the campuses of Indian universities and higher education society. When we are talking about why Swachhta campus manual is required, then when we are saying that where there is an ownership, whether it is a community or a personal, there should be a commitment to keep the place clean. So this is one kind of responsibility or one kind of commitment which every campus supposed to be take over. So that responsibility should be codified and recorded uh, by the institutions. That is why we need a campus, Swachh campus manual. So added to this, we also need this Swachh campus manual for as a standard operating procedure to identify the responsibilities of the persons that indicates the process and of the waste management. When we are saying about the SOP for the Swachh campus, it is always supporting with this task for the promoting of the cleanliness on the campus. When we are talking about the Swachhta or Swachhta campus, it is expected to become the habit with all students, and through the students it will reach to their families, and through the families it will reach to the their community and the area where they are staying. When we are talking about the Swachhta campus manual, we always say that when the Swachh Bharat campaign has launched by the government of India to create the system of the maintaining cleanliness 24/7 and 365 days, it always enlighten the spirit in the communities and the individuals. The campus of the different institutions or educational institutions have the different types of wastages, like like food wastages, furniture wastages, building wastages, food wastages, kitchen, lab, and office wastages too. In some universities or campuses where there are the hostels, we can find the hostel wastages too. So this is the first time in India or in the Indian history, we saw that the Swachhta campus manual is launched by Honorable Union Minister of Human Resource Development by Sri Prakash Javadekar sir. This was the first time when all the universities, private as well as public universities, people and higher education institutions took the part in the conference, and in that conference we launched our Swachh campus manual. So the objective of the Swachhta campus is very clearly mentioned in the manual regarding it will be a stepping stones for promoting and participation of the higher education institutions in the sanitation, hygiene, and water conservation. Added to this, when we are talking about the Swachhta, the most of the is the precious lesson every student should be learned, and or it should be taught in every educational institutions. When we are talking about the other objectives, we must know that the hygiene parameters, including the students' toilet ratio, water availability and the purity, hostel and kitchen hygiene, garbage disposal frequency, and the techniques of the camp and its techniques, campuses, green cover, and other. So when we are talking about the uh, transformation through higher education institutions, we can really do the transformation in the Swachhta campus. So when we are talking about the paths for which we need to take for this Swachhta campus, we should always think about the colleges, universities, and schools. It is no longer no longer be a fad nowadays. It's a reality. It's a mandate which given by the government of India for the progressive nation, and where the environment awareness is really required. When we are talking about the green campus, green campus, it is already it is mentioned in the UGC notification that it is required that a green campus is a higher education community with the minimum land use, environmental planning, and the resources of management. That is what it is given in the UGC's notification. So when we are talking about the Swachhta Campus initiative, we are expecting, or we want to implement it by the Department of Higher Education in the Ministry of Human Resource Development of Government of India for the higher education institutions and the universities. The mirror principle of the green institutions is endeavored to the extend learning beyond the classroom. So it would be a great opportunity for the students to learn beyond the classroom, and which will they replicate the same thing in their home, in their community, in their premises. So so now when we are talking about how to implement the Swachhta campus, so there are some strategy, there are some planning for it, and the higher education institutions, of course, they have the autonomy with their internal affairs. So they are virtually insulated from the most of the day-to-day regulations with which the civilizations or businesses or the industries, they are not getting that kind of liberty, but higher educations have. So they can choose their own path, they can choose their plan of actions for implementation of the Swachh campus. So what can the higher education institutes do in the Swachhta campus? So we can say that uh, they need to maintain a clean and green campus. Uh, of course, with the help of the students, they should take the help of the faculty, and they will do it. Facilities, uh, they need to facilitate the design of the specific intervention for making the campus clean, green, and beautiful, which by following the international standards and accepted parameters by Government of India. So while monitoring the existence, environmental performance of the campus in the participatory and the transparent way, present step by step guide for the making the campus clean and green. So we can really use it's higher education institutes can use these steps for their Swachh campus action in the Swachh campus action plan. Uh, when we are talking about the team, there should be a core team, which there should be a which will be which will be there in the each institutions where there is a need of leadership and the help of the key stakeholders is required. The team shall work as a Swachh core team. Uh, Also, they can involve all uh, other faculties, administrative staff, non-teaching staff, some students in the Swachhta core team. So these are the efforts that higher education institutions can really take. When we are talking about the green campus, uh, uh, there is one or two interested or the environmental decline faculty member may be given the responsibility to help in the Swachhta campaign in their department. This team, Swachh faculty will select a group of the enthusiastic students from their own department, and they can start the campaign on Swachh students campaign on it, and the team may be called as a Swachhta student team. When we are talking about the Swachhta faculty and Swachhta students, the term can be formed as a Swachhta monitors, so that they will take care of the Swachhta and the green campus in higher education institutions. When we are talking about the report part, which is equally important, the team of the campus officials representing accountants, administrative staff, maintenance division can be consist a team which will be called as a Swachh admin team. Uh, Added to this, when uh, the entire program can be run under the direct form designated authority that will be set the policies, rules, and directive for bringing the challenges. Apart from that, some external Swachhta team members can be identified from the neighborhood colleges or the universities. They will monitor the progress uh, and regulate the interval and the productive peers of the reviews. This is what we can do in the green campus activities.
Stop sharing. Stop sharing.
Yes, sir. I think it was too fast, but I have only 8 minutes, so I can able to do this much only.
Uh, Now we will look into who all are involved in the Swachh Campus initiative. They are vice chancellors, directors and principals, deans and heads of department, registrar, head of non-teaching staff, dean faculty, dean student affairs, faculty members, NSS coordinator, or a designated officer who can lead the team and take Swachh Campus initiative ahead. The other members who will be including in such campus initiative are building maintenance managers, dining hall canteen managers, resource associates, residents of campus, commercial firms, non-profit organizations, and partners. We need some partners from outside also to give our financial and moral support or any activity support from the other partners. We will be doing partnership with the different organizations. Few of them are funding agencies like state and central government regulatory and finance agencies, and ministries like human resource development, water resources, sanitation, forests and environments, as well as AICTE. We will also be requiring donors from our alumni, NGOs, private foundations, and corporate houses. We also need non-profit organization support through their awareness campaigns for connecting to external vendors and self-help groups. We also require support from public policy groups and think tanks like Green Building Council, Center for Science and Environment, and Council on Energy, Environment and Water. We also need to have long-term collaboration with media and celebrities to mobilize the campus residents. Of course, last but not the least, we need the support of government. The once the we have identified the who all are should be included in Swachh Campus initiative, the members and the partners, we will be drafting Swachh Campus policy. The stakeholders are to be involved in drafting the policy so that it covers the sustainable usage of resources on the campus and responsible management of the waste, and some faculty can be identified to give inputs through the identified students. Once the document is finalized, it should be circulated among residents, staff, private business, and students on the campus. Need to be continuously encouraged to adhere to each of the policy components. The other things which we included in the Swachh campus policy are sanitation and hygiene policy, water conservation policy, rainwater harvesting policy, waste management policy, energy conservation policy, green policy, and student activity policy. Uh, then we have to form an action plan for the Swachh Campus initiative. We have to form Swachh teams, and we have to promote the Swachhta on social media. Swachhta student teams should be oriented on Swachhta action plan, and if required, we need to draw a blueprint of the campus to ease our survey and ground truthing. Identify areas of immediate action, planning interventions, education and awareness, implementation of Swachh Campus, record keeping and supervision, analysis and action plan, maintenance of student Swachh Kendra, reporting, feedback and review, improving the program, presentation, celebration of achievements, identify the best for performers and reward them, and review and improve the action plan. This is the sample form of energy consumption of the building. There are, if you can see on the left side, we have different blocks in the campus. Against each month, how much energy is consumed against each block, we need to calculate, and we have to enter in this form. This is the Swachh Campus scorecard. The format for Swachh Campus scorecard. It has criteria like sanitation and hygiene, waste management, water management, greenery, energy conservation, with sanitation and hygiene giving importance and has a maximum points of 200. The other criteria have the 100 as maximum points, and the total maximum points are 600. And coming to the sanitation and hygiene, it is subdivided into 15 criteria, and for each criteria there are the maximum points which add up to 200 is given to each criteria, and the score will be given on the physical condition of each criteria. Coming to the waste management score format, we have criteria like segregation of solid waste, collection of solid waste, reuse and recycling of solid waste, disposal of solid waste, waste management initiatives, biomedical waste management managed as per rules. Out of this, each one has given different maximum points, out of which reuse and recycling of solid waste is subdivided into different criteria. We will look into that. Reuse and recycling campus score format. In this, the waste is divided into solid waste, wet waste, lab waste, e-waste, biomedical waste, and there is initiatives like pre-treatment, sorting of the waste, and other things where the points are given for each one. Considering the first row, pre-treatment. Pre-treatment, if it is done for solid waste, wet waste, and all other waste, we will mark S, a tick mark on S. And if we have 5 S in that row, we will give 5 points to them. Accordingly, the other sorting of the waste, mechanical pulverization, all things are be done in a similar way. And here is the campus score format for water usage. How we are using water, water availability, usage of water, water quality, rainwater harvesting, recycle, campus initiative, etc. All these are given different maximum points, all sum up to 100 points. Coming to the campus greenery format, we have given maximum points as 66. Like for each 1% of green cover, we will give 2 points. Means if it is the maximum area that can be considered for this campus greenery format is 33%. 33% into 2 points, that is 66 points. And there are other things in the campus greenery, such as campus nursery management, plant protection management, which all sums up to 100 points. And in the below table, you can see how much is the constructed area, how much is the green area inside the boundary, how much is the unconstructed barren area or others, and the total land area, summing up all the above areas. Now, what is the responsibility of HEA? HEA should see that the Swachh Bharat initiative as successful. To make them successful, They need to build consensus on the need for Swachhata on campus with the students, administration, faculty, other internal and external stakeholders, village residents, village administrations, Gram Sabha, and the list goes on, like village banks and panchayats. And the other responsibility would be need to facilitate design of specific interventions for making the campus and neighborhood swachh, clean and green by following best available standards and accepted parameters. We also need to monitor the Swachhta management, and we have to be with the participation of the students and the teams. We have to make it transparent, and we have to involve as all aspects of exploring, surveying, fact finding, recording, planning, taking action, and monitoring Swachhata activities, including all relevant stakeholders like citizens, student teams, teachers, village leaders, other administrative officials, both in campus and villages. The way forward, which we look, the way forward for Swachh campus to be awarded as Swachh campus, any school, college or university should be green campus, and it is clear mandate in many progressive nations, including India also. And in simple terms, if you want to make into simple terms, a green campus aims to make environmental awareness and action an integral part of the life and ethos of those administrating, learning or teaching in a school, college or university. That sustainable development means not only reducing the impact of our campus on the surrounding environment, but also larger, the aspect is more larger than that. We must also strive to cultivate a robust community that supports everyone. Coming to the other points in the way forward, we have to make the campus, Swachh campus, as a, we have to consider the campus as a mini India, and we have to follow all the good environmental practices to make our campus Swachh campus. The other goals include the effort is to maintain Swachhata regardless of whatever the steps are adapted, especially on each campus. There should be experiential learning by doing for the students to deliver and implement Swachhata program. World over, the trend is to inter alia adopt cycling for local transport, water harvesting, biodiversity, and solar energy to make campuses eco-friendly, green and self-sustenance. India too is in the race. We have a lot to do, and this is time now. I am concluding this session with a quote from Mahatma Gandhi ji: "Earth provides enough to satisfy every man's needs, but not every man's greed." Thank you.
Thank you, Naresh. Can I take over?
Yes.
I request others to mute the mics so that there is some beep sound is coming when you are speaking. Other microphones are on. I don't need because I'll directly speak to the camera. Screen share not necessary. So first of all, I would like to talk about Jalshakthi. The very word Jalshakthi, to try to decode it. True translation, Jalshakthi means water power. In other words, is it hydropower? Water power means in literal true sense, or what to say, myopic context, yes. Hydropower, Jalshakthi means hydropower, but it doesn't stop just with hydropower. It is not hydropower true translation of Jalshakti, it's power of water. Power means hydropower means I'm talking about electricity from water. Whereas the power of water is, besides electricity, water is all-encompassing. Just like the earlier session we discussed at length about Swachhta, the undercurrent, the bedrock, the foundation of Swachhta throughout is water. Without water, we can't think of Swachhta. So, Jalshakti, of course, it has got direct as in terms of government flagship programs, LA program, Swachh Bharat Abhiyan, now it is Jalshakti Abhiyan. It's a continuum of sanitation, hygiene to Jalshakti. But besides that, if you see in broader picture, I'm just still trying to understand the word Jalshakti, well thought out government of India when it's coined in two single word, two small words, encapsulating the entire essence of integrated water resource management. Because Jalshakti is not just when we say power of water, it includes on one side, of course, sanitation, Swachh Bharat already we started there. But on one side, of course, I said hydropower. On one side, it is also connecting to energy and power sector. And first of all, to begin with, water is medium for the origin and evolution of life. There is no life without water. Human body itself, for the matter, or many of the living beings, 70 to 90% of body composition is water only. So starting right from there, the very composition of life, origin and evolution of life, from there, of course, it can be Swachhta on one side, it can be energy on the other side. What are other components? Agriculture. You can't think of food security without water. Water is lifeline for food security. Is it just agriculture only or forestry, greenery, what you are talking about? Greenery and forest and the water, it is like twin siblings, twin brothers or twin sisters. I don't know how to use the word gender as, so I'm using the word siblings because one complements each other. If you have water, forest grow up. If you have forest, they complement water augmentation. So greenery one side, agriculture one side, energy one side, life at the foundation itself, and that way water is all encompassing. That is power of water. Say Jalshakti, power of water. To put it in a policy mandate, because whatever government of India is doing, being a signatory to United Nations mandate on water, it started with Agenda 21 and Dublin Principles on water. The fundamental 5 principles of Dublin Principles on water, how it started. The very definition of integrated water source management happened much before in 1970s. After that evolved, when it came to Agenda 21 of 1992, then Dublin principles were established. I'm just trying to contextualize, putting water in perspective, first globally, then by this Jalshakti, how it is, in support of and complementing, strengthening international mandate, India being signatory to that, and then how it is happening down ground level, at village level, and campus level. So on one side we are connecting to macro level, on the other side we are coming to micro specifics of Jalshakti, the power of water, if you like. So Dublin principles, if I tell, that is nothing but the whole integrated water source management is captured into Dublin principles and our Jalshakti. First fundamental principle of Dublin principles of non-water is water is not infinite resource. It is a finite, limited resource, a commodity. It has to be treated with it has to be managed, treated both on supply and demand side with excellent, plan of action on one side, and water has to be equitable distribution. It talks about on one side it is a finite resource. It is not infinite. It's not just, we cannot think that like solar energy, it is infinite forever to stay. It is a finite resource. We have to use very carefully. And next it is equitable distribution of water. There must be social equity among all stakeholders for different purposes. It can be household consumption, for drinking and other purposes. It can be agricultural purposes. It can be industrial purposes. For all these things, water is that equitable distribution, and it must be participatory. It is very well explicitly stated in Dublin Principles. Participatory management of water involving women at the forefront. These words are stated clearly. Participatory, equitable distribution, and role of women. And last but not the least, it says water has an economic value. You don't take water for granted, for free. Water, you have to price water. Unless you price water, you charge stakeholders for water consumption, they take water for granted, and there will be water stress, water deficit, and all this. On these principles, it very edifice of integrated water source management has been established internationally through UN agencies, and India as a signatory. Effectively, it is one of the leading states, leading nation, while implementing integrated water source management, that is Jalshakti. Now let's come to Indian context. Jalshakti, I mean from above to down grassroots level. Jalshakti, before going to Jalshakti manual, we have the Jalshakti Abhiyan, just like Swachhta, after the Jalshakti Abhiyan, all concerned ministries, different ministries that were dealing with water resources, they were all brought under one big umbrella, Jalshakti, Ministry of Jalshakti. And now let's come to the manual about what is the Jalshakti manual. It talks about involving all higher education institutes and universities for the outreach word I don't want to use because it talks from the position of strength to from giver to receiver. It's not like that. For community engagement, for active bilateral, what to say, on level playing field, community engagement to involve communities to win the confidence of communities. Government of India has chosen higher education institutes. Why? Because among all other players of that, government has what to say, कानून का हाथ बहुत लंबे होते हैं. Government has got so many departments, so many ministries. Why only higher education institutes? Because all line departments that are directly dealing with water sector, they have their own job chart. When it comes to really winning the hearts of communities, still there is one last mile connectivity is still missing. So for that, not government departments, who else can do? Private sector. But whenever private sector comes, the business of business is to do business. They say always, private sector, okay, they may do some corporate social responsibility. We cannot expect them to do the philanthropy, charity, winning hearts of people. It's not their domain. Though they may do the walk that extra mile, but we can't expect everything. So NGOs, okay, they do some pilot projects, showcasing, taking some consulting works, and here and there some showcasing, but upscaling NGOs cannot. So for all pervasive, large scale diffusion of the very mandate of integrated water resource management at community level through community engagement. For that to do, government has realized it's only education institutes, higher education institutes and universities because they have that strategic advantage of an extent of autonomy within the system itself and internal regulation only without much external interference. Unlike line departments like Panchayati Raj, revenue, whatever, they have to put with lot of external interferences. Sometimes political, sometimes private players, sometimes local. They don't have this luxury rather, so to say, rather the strategic advantage that the universities have in implementing and taking it to the doorstep of communities for them to own this Jalshakti Abhiyan. So in this context, it is a stepping stone. This manual, Jalshakti manual, for implementing, for taking up ownership to the community level. And MGNCRE, Mahatma Gandhi National Council for Rural Education, we are very proud part of the Swachhta Action Plan, whereby we worked with 100 Swachhta awarded higher education institutes and monitored 200 villages in Swachhta Action. So it is a continuum, as I said. So we have this, again, this institute has got strategic advantage of pursuing with higher education institutes in taking up Jalshakti manual in implementation on levels. And what are the vehicles for the universities to carry this Jalshakti integrated water resource management to communities? It of course NSS, National Service Scheme, Swachhta Action Plan. Of course, earlier we discussed how water is an undercurrent has to be done, and Unnat Bharat Abhiyan. Through these three immediate vehicles, these are vehicles to carry this Jalshakti for community engagement, and it will be a milestone achievement whereby about 45,000 higher education institutes will be using this manual for its realization of its goals. And before I hand over to my colleague on exactly how higher education institutes will do, I'll just quickly conclude with a couple of bulletin points. Of course, the whole manual is very much, well, it is an open domain. It is on the website of MHRD, very clearly saying about what are all these standard operating procedures, etc., that needs to be strictly adhered to by all stakeholders. And so, why manual? What I'm saying, why SOP also? The word SOP also mentioned, standard operating procedures. Because all of us, there is something like our chairman also keeps telling about just having bhakti yoga, jnana yoga is not sufficient. We should have karma yoga. We need to have some what to say standard karma yoga for me is nothing but standard operating procedures. So whatever everyone likes, awareness, all of us we have sufficient awareness, only action is lacking. So for that, this kind of karma yoga, so to say, instead of just having awareness is alone is not sufficient. It is a notional value because Himalayas, for example, from water perspective, we see them freshwater towers. Even down south Indian, Kerala, Tamil Nadu, fellow Assam, everyone who have never seen Himalayas also, they river most Himalayas as freshwater reservoirs, freshwater towers. But it's only notional value. We have never seen, okay, we respect Himalayas. It's not sufficient.